Good morning, San Diego, North County, Black Cat Army. Today, we have a special announcement. El Gato Studios has officially partnered with ER Soccer Development. To the right of me is legendary Edwin Navarrete, for those of you that know, aka Edwin Navarrete. I just put his whole government out there. And Senior Coach Carlos, who will be get to know today. The purpose of today is for you to know how important sports, athletics, but most importantly, having the right coaches with our children who are our future is so important and crucial. We're gonna go over how Edwin has developed special programs that cater specifically from homeschooling all the way to public schools, elementary, middle schools, and even high schools. So I'm proud to say that Edwin is a success story from Escondido, Orange Glen Patriot. He pursued his dream when nobody believed in him. He did everything that he needed to do to accomplish it, and now he's sharing all of that experience and blessing the world with it. This is your boy El Gato Negro. I'm so excited to share this one with you.
All right, my name is Edwin Navarrete Villegas. That's actually my government name. I pursue soccer because basically my dad introduced me to the sport when I was 3 years old. I was one of those kids that grew up playing with 10-year-olds. Back then there was no 7v7, 9v9, it was just straight 11v11. I started playing in Tijuana, Mexico with a team called Verde Crema. My first ever coach was my dad's coach as well. I just remember playing in the dirt fields in Tijuana by the airport out there. First thing I remembered was slide tackling into glass broken, bottled in the dirt, and I cut up my knee, and I was one of the worst players ever, but I kept going. And one day I remember driving by one of the fields and one of the kids ended up juggling, and I'm like, you know what, I want to do that. I'm going to be better than that. And so I ended up being better than that. But why I pursue soccer? Because it just kept me out of trouble. If you grew up in Escondido, you know there's a lot of drugs, there's gangs, there's just not the right people to hang out with, and it kept me from doing all those things. And that's why I appreciate soccer, and it also showed me the world. I never knew I could actually travel with soccer, and I was able to travel to a couple different countries, live in a couple different countries, and I'm still doing this because of the love of the game and because I want to help out the next generation that needs us to let them know that there's a whole world out there than just Escondido and North County. We can go travel the world. You can go ahead and go see a soccer game in a different part of the country. I started ER Soccer Development because I wanted to be able to help out the next generation. How? Through soccer, through the sport that I love. How can I help out in a bigger scale? So I did started private training, I did group training, I did clinics, camps. I started a homeschool program before anyone started it in San Diego. How did it happen? I started by training a church, actually. It was a Christian church called Awaken Church, but the Awaken Academies will give me the opportunity. Through that opportunity, I was able to, we started off with 3 kids. From 3, it became 7. From 7, it became 10. From 10, it became 20, and we grew up to 25. Through that, it gave me the opportunity to scale. Now we have 1,500 students that we've trained in the past couple months. Lifetime right now is probably already 35 to 5,000. It's been a crazy, wild ride, but we're excited and we're expanding, and it just takes time to be able to touch more lives, but the main goal is to take over San Diego and then go nationwide.
Hi everybody, I'm Coach Carlos Hernandez. I have a hard time introducing myself as a specific coach, but my background a little bit is I was born in Mexico. I was brought here when I was 13 years old to visit my grandpa, my grandma. My sport number one was baseball, believe it or not. And I like baseball because you didn't have to do a lot of running. And so as a consequence of that and the nice food that grandma was feeding me, it was make me gain weight. I became obese, and I could hardly move. And at one point, I was watching and grew up in the streets of Vista, California, and I saw some of the kids playing, and they were having such a great time. And I see they were having a great time playing soccer, and I wanted to do that. Unfortunately, I just couldn't move. My body was not reacting, and so one day I decided that I loved the game enough to give it a shot. And I remember going to Lincoln Middle School and started walking. So thank you to one of my mentors, so I just started walking one step at a time. And I remember when I started walking and I got tired, I cannot even go a quarter of a lap. But I stopped, and I go, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna go a little further. And that started increasing gradually. What happened was it gave me the willpower. And one day, after about a week walking, I noticed that I had those muscle movement in my legs because I could not see, everything was fat. And then I got so excited that I always tell people that that's my Forrest Gump moment. When he starts running and then, he keeps running and he keeps running and he keeps running. The same thing happened with me. And I got a little bit into coaching my younger brother. I didn't grow up with a mentor as far as coaching goes. And I just sort of had to figure it out myself. And I decided to coach my brother to make him successful, and get the coaching that I never got. He listened, and I found out I was pretty good at it. Those days, he became the player of the year, CIF player of the year, which is only one division, not like it is now. They're like 25 divisions. And so I saw that as part of my growth as a person, and I go, maybe I'm good at this thing. People started noticing, and then started inviting me. That's kind of how my story started, and here we are. Pretty soon it's going to be 50 years of coaching, and I feel like it's a success in the sense of I was blessed enough to be coaching at the club level, and from there graduated into the high school level, and we had success there. And then I started coaching at the college level, and I had a lot of success there. Thanks to the work that we've done there, I think that gave us a lot of motivation. And in my case, more than turning kids, professional soccer players, it was more like giving the kids an opportunity to succeed and become successful in life, based on my story. That's pretty much in a nutshell, why I'm doing the coaching. Having the success, it has motivated me to do that. The reason why I'm involved with ER training, it's just an interesting concept. I remember finishing coaching at Palomar College and coaching club, sort of doing the same thing that I'd done before. One of the things that motivated me was, I noticed in my later years in coaching college and coaching high school, is the type of player that you receive coming to you and play and participate, and they seem to be a little bit, I would call it overconfident. The typical, they know everything and you don't know what you're talking about. And so I felt a little disappointed because I think it has to do a lot with coaches' education, the way that we teach them some values. And I noticed that the problem was getting bigger and bigger. And so I felt I was a part of the problem. I was not doing my job in the high school level to send good kids to the college level, and in the club level to send them over to the club level. And so I've decided to go back into coaching to start there. I noticed it was kind of falling into the same vicious cycle. And then I met Edwin. He's one of the lucky ones that I was not able to coach during his playing career. He's the one that betrayed us and went over to play for the rival college. But I always believe that if you do the good things, I think people put the good people together, and like I told them before. And this is basically a combination of, that the right combination to, in my opinion, to success. It's got to be somebody that is very good at something and another person who's very good at something else, and you put it together and then it becomes success. And what do I mean by that is that he's had the business mind, and he has the individual mind to put the programs together to be successful. And I think for what he's doing is he's putting a platform for people like myself to come in and still use the experience that we gain over the years. And I highly encourage coaches who never had that opportunity to interact with kids with different needs, a diverse group of people, and the great feeling that it is when you become successful when you see them playing together as a group. Talking to Edwin, we decided that we were gonna fine-tune the training with his business savvy and my soccer experience. We can sort of put together a different kind of player where, it's never done before, and it's never been done before. And I really feel confident about that because I've been around for a while. And so I think that what we do right now, we're not only teaching the soccer skills and the tactical part of the game, but also we're providing good citizens. I'm a proof of that because I walk around everywhere, and I proudly can tell you that about 90% of the high school coaches were my players, my former players, and then their assistants are former players. There's director who were my former players. I'm being hired right now by one of my former players, that helping them, be successful. And for me, success is when I coach you when you are a youngster, and then you move on and become successful, and you still love the game the way I loved it, then I've done a good job. I don't measure it on whether you turned professional or not, but I think that if you had a good experience and you keep promoting that, then I've done my job. And somebody said that when you do what you love, you never had a job in your life, and I think that I never had a job in my life. I'm still unemployed. So I'm working on it, and I'm trying to make a difference in this world. I don't know if I have, but I think that right now I encourage people to kind of experience what I went through. And if you want to become a better coach, again, not soccer-wise, skills-wise, but just in the game of life, it makes us better people. I think that this is the place that you want to join, and you want to put in your 2 cents of what, you'd be surprised how much you have to offer, and you don't realize that. So I encourage highly to come in and join us in this movement that we have. I believe 100% into it. I feel confident that as we progress, we're gonna grow and we're gonna expand and we're gonna be very successful because of there's a lot of people out there that they want to see something different than what is being taught right now.
Edwin, as an athlete, being an athlete and going through his systems, what would you say one was the biggest takeaway on the field and the biggest takeaway off the field?
So basically, I was not fortunate enough to be able to be coached by Coach Carlos.
Okay.
I was supposed to go to Palomar College, and that's what he was
Oh,
saying
I thought it was okay.
He was
a rebel.
You went Maricosa?
No, I went
Okay.
to Santa Ana for
Okay.
a season.
Okay.
I was supposed to go to school in Kansas, and a buddy of mine, and I found out he was going to training in Santa Ana, and I'm like, hey, can I just join you just to get a couple reps to stay fit before I go over there? And then the head coach that played LA Galaxy when it started, 95, 96, Jose Vasquez, convinced me, and the assistant coach, his name is Hector. He still actually helps us, very good friends still. He helps us coach as well when he gets a chance.
Okay.
He lives in Orange County. But I ended up going over there, and he convinced me to stay over there, and then we ended up playing Palomar, and I told Coach, I'm sorry, man, but we killed you guys. We murdered you guys when we played you guys, and that day they made me captain because I'm like, hey.
Because of that game?
Nice. No, they made me captain because obviously we were coming back home, and they're like, hey, we want you to be captain.
Rub it in our face.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right.
Of course. They put a shiny star on me, huh?
The reason. So before I gotta say this is it was just not just any school at that time. Santa Ana was the number one team in the nation.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't go.
You forgot to leave that part out,
So
sir.
he didn't go to just any school. So for that I forgive him. But
It was 2013. We had a top goal scorer of all. I mean, you could say community colleges. We had the top assister. At the time, I was the one with the top minutes, but then because we didn't end up going to the final four because we lost semifinals, the dude ended up beating me because he had that one extra game. But I mean, there was times that I was tired and I didn't want to play, man. And coach was like, "You got to play," and I'm like, "Dude, I need a break." My legs are feeling wobbly. Like, this guy's doing better than me in practice. He's like, "No, but we trust you," and I'm like, "All right, well." And I mean, we used to have UCLA, we used to have UCI, we had all the big schools seeing us, but it's like no one.
And what do you think was that, right? Because one thing in the fighting world, and I'm so big on it with my boxers, is if you don't promote yourself, how are you gonna sell tickets, right? Because ultimately in the athletic game, it's a money making machine. So if you don't know how to promote yourself and sell tickets, you're probably not gonna get recruited by the promoter. Now in soccer, is that kind of similar?
Yeah, so basically, for us back then, I mean, we didn't get all the cool stuff that all these guys are getting now, the NIL deals, all that big stuff. We now, recently, you could play 2 years in community college and still have your 4 years, apparently, in a 4-year D1, D2 university. And
so if you go JUCO, you can still play 4 years at the
JUCO,
oh, wow.
and I mean, they're fortunate and blessed enough
100%
for that. I mean, now they're doing that also because it's like it's easier to recruit. It's cheaper as well for the 4-year schools to have a incoming college, player from a JUCO, and so it makes a lot of sense for them. And he's already developed as well, playing 2 years,
and academically at that point as well,
yes,
right?
Exactly. So it just makes more sense for them. But for us back then, basically there wasn't social media. There wasn't no Instagram. I mean, I don't know if Vine was alive.
Vine, yeah.
But I mean, I never even got into that
maybe,
stuff. Yeah, I think Snapchat was Snapchat
but it wasn't what it was today, baby.
No,
like 100%.
No. So I mean, how we did it was, I mean, Coach Vasquez did have, because of his name, he brought in people, and then also, I mean, we had good players. Okay. Again, we had the top goal scorer, top assister in our team, and I mean, we didn't end up winning conference, unfortunately, and we didn't end up going to the winning the championship, but it was a good experience, good players. I met a lot of people. I was able to connect with a lot of people. How I actually ended up making it professional was because my goalie coach at Santa Ana introduced me to you could say a UPSL team or / Sunday League team. Okay. And the goalie of the Sunday League team, or the Saturday League team, you can say, was ex-national goalkeeper for El Salvador.
Damn.
And his friend that was in the stands, helped me out.
Nice.
I brought my cousin to the
That was
game.
like the whole goal story.
Yeah, randomly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, randomly I brought my cousin to the game, and my cousin was talking to the guy, and they connected. And halftime, my cousin was like, hey, come here. And I was like, okay. So he introduced me, and we were talking. He's like, where do you want to go play? I'm like, well, I want to go play in Alianza. Alianza is the best team, is a well-known team in El Salvador. They call them Los Blancos.
Okay.
And
So it's like America Chivas
yeah,
type thing.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right. And he's like, all right, let me see what I can do. And he's like, all right, well, you have to go here. So there's this team that he sent me to, Sonsonate, and I didn't know anyone. I just messaged the guy on Facebook, and he picked me up in the airport. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know my family yet. I haven't been introduced to my family over there. So I just went going blindly, but trusting in God.
Yeah,
and my family's like, something's going to happen to you. Back then it was still dangerous. You can get killed, etc. I was like, no, you guys have little faith. I'm going to go because I know God has my back, and this is what I want to do for soccer. And I went out there and I trialed. The first literally week we were there playing where they were burning caña. And man, it's so hard to play. I can't play in smoke. It was so hard for me. The last training we had was against the first team. We actually beat them 1-0. And the coach was really mad. His name was Edwin Portillo. So they call him Bochinche, was his nickname.
Because technically the second team beat the first.
Yes, well, you can... It wasn't even the second team. It was just players that were trialing, and we beat them, and that was so cool. And then after that, I left to another team called Chalatenango because they took too long. They ended up calling my friend that lived in the area. He's like, hey, why'd you guys take them? We were about to sign them. Because you guys took forever. So then I went to Chalatenango, met my family there because I didn't even know that they lived there. Met my family there. Made really good friends with 3 or 4 players from the same city that my family lived in. But they were also in Chalatenango.
Wow.
That team, the coach Nelson Ancheta, we played against a second division team, friendly, and they were about to sign me. Well, he said, we're going to sign this player. He told the president. The president told me, hey, let me see your DUI. The DUI is like the ID card, the California ID card. And I'm like, well, I'm Salvadorian American. I don't have the ID card. He's like, man, well, you need your documents so we can sign you. So it was supposed to take 2 months, 3 months. Took me 2 weeks to get all my documents, run to...
You had to go to the consulate and get all that stuff?
Did all that stuff. My parents had to go to the consulate here in LA from El Salvador, get all my documents, send it over. What was supposed to take 3 to 2 months took 2 weeks, but by the time it was already too late to sign. Had to come back to the States for 3 months. Worked at Josh where I met you, saw you again.
At Toyota?
At Toyota.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh my
I had to
goodness.
do some stuff I didn't like, but I mean, I did it for the love of the
Brother,
sport.
that is wild. Oh my goodness. The fact that you connected that piece in my brain right now is crazy. I run into Edwin. At that time, I had a Toyota car, and I take it in there to get service and whatever, right? And then he's like, I see him, and I'm like, oh, what up, bro? Like, nice to see you. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, right away. And I don't know if he thought like that I would like judge him or something like that, but in my mind, because I was in the same boat of like figuring out what my dream is, I was like, at no time, like I just knew what he was doing. It was like he's still going, and it just hit different. And then when I saw him at Santa Tecla, it was like, yeah, bro. It was really one of those like, I wonder who talked smack while you were there, and now that you're up, I wonder who's saying.
Who's laughing now?
It was sorry.
I'm sorry. I would before again. My thing with him, we actually never met until like
We did. I mean,
I probably didn't like you because you were playing for Santa Ana. Not just kidding. It was last 2 years ago when I started coaching with San Diego with the CDFC at San Marcos.
Yeah.
Remember we coming in the parking lot and he's leaving. I'm coming in. Hey, coach, how you doing? I go, oh, he remembered me. I used to coach his brother, Albert, and then, but I don't remember him. But he's got the truck with all the stuff in there, and he tells me what he was doing, and I like it real short. I go, oh, that's good. I was starting with that club, and this is what I'm doing. Oh, but that's good. And to me, it was just like anybody else, because I have so many former players that are doing the same thing. Oh, I'm doing privates, and then I go like, okay, all right. So I go and tell people, listen, at the end of the day, there's room for everybody.
100%.
And so then we ran into each other again. And then at that time, I was having to some personal situations with my mom being sick, and I needed a little bit of extra work. And they go, maybe if I can help them a little bit, and they help each other. That's kind of started. And then we talked a little more. This is kind of what I do. I go, listen, I can help you here and this and this and this. If you need any help with that, you just give me a call. Oh yeah, let me get your number. And we exchanged numbers, and that was it. That's how we reconnected. And at the end, I go, it's completely different than what I do with the club, and it's more like kind of what up your alley. What I want to do right now.
Exactly.
What I want to do right now, because I can compete. And now if you go to a club and says, Coach, we'll give you the older team because you got the experience. I go, no.
Exactly. Different phase.
I want to make a difference in the kids.
100%. And that's exactly where I was going to transition to next, Edwin, is all of that, brother. And you and I have talked off camera, right? And the number one thing that I can hear in your voice is passion.
Yep.
Because that's how I speak.
Yeah.
So you game recognize game all day. So once you're there, you make it pro, and we're gonna go into detail probably in a later podcast of the entire pro journey. However, now that you're getting all this experience, you roll the dice on yourself, you make it, everything's good. How did ER Soccer come about?
So ER Soccer came about. I came back. I was stopped playing. I mean, I was again working for another opportunity, because all I used to do was just work. I didn't care about what kind of clothes I wore. I didn't care about anything else. I just care about saving money for my trips to go play soccer, buying new boots, equipment. If I had obviously rent, food, trainers, that's all I cared about. And I was working in a job I didn't want to work. I knew I wasn't supposed to be there, but I was just doing it because I knew my next opportunity was coming. And the last time I was supposed to go, I was going to go to Albania. Didn't work out. The agent wanted too much money. That's it. I was 27 at the time. I'm like, hey, you know what? I want to buy a house when I'm 30. I need to get my life going. So met.
Let me pause you there.
Yeah.
How hard was that decision?
I mean, it was tough. Like, I couldn't sleep. There was nights that I couldn't sleep. I cried on my own. I mean, it was a very sensitive moment, because I knew that was it. My career was as a soccer player. What I did since I was 3 years old was going to be over, and I had to transition to something else. And technically, I prayed about it. I always asked God for guidance and for help, and I think that was the main thing also that kept me sane from being insane. And once I already knew that was it, I met my significant other, not looking for her.
Correct.
Or her looking for me.
God gave it to you.
Exactly. It happened. And one day out of the blue, we were just talking and saying, hey, you know what? I want to start my business, my soccer business. What should we name it? And it just happened. We were at a tree, and my name is Edwin, and my first initials with E, and her name's Razan, and it just became ER Soccer Development. And we just looked at each other and we're like, yeah, ER Soccer Development, and that's how it became. And from there, like I said, I started training. Started with one family with 2 girls. From there, it became 7, and I was doing soccer part time, doing a job full time during the day.
What was your job at that time?
So I was working at a company that did cables for like the military. So when there was war, they make money because there's cables. They do cables for like underground. If you ever see at night when they go to, they're fixing the street, they have the cables. We did those type of cables.
Oh, I see.
With the spools and everything.
Yeah, the big
Yeah,
ones.
we did the big ones, the small ones. We did all kinds. But I'm not gonna talk bad about it. It was a job. It kept me afloat. It paid me. There was people that were barely coming out of prison that were working there, and they're getting their second opportunity. And I'm like, what am I doing here? So I ended up getting another job at like like a pool company. They were number one pool company in the whole world for robots, cleaning the pools, all the equipment stuff, and I worked there 3 months. I also did it because I wanted to get my customer experience, getting on phone calls with different people from different parts of the country. Actually, I would have phone calls from New York, Maryland, all over, and being able to handle escalations and all that. And so I knew I was going to use that for my business, future business. And so they let me go. It was crazy. What? They let me go. From there, it's like I went full throttle from there. From 7 kids, 20 kids, 30, 40. I was training up to 200 kids monthly. It was insane. I would work from 5 a.m. to like 9 p.m., even 10 p.m. I was going crazy.
Monday through Sunday?
Yeah, I didn't have no breaks, man. There was times that I didn't have any breaks. I kept going and going, but I was young. My body was good. I just kept going, and then finally I'm like, how can I scale? How can I get bigger? How can I help out more without killing myself? There's only one Edwin. How can I be at 2 places at once? And got on my knees, prayed. Sure. It gave me the idea, and then one phone call. Well, my significant other is the main one that handles that, but one phone call led to another, one idea led to another, and now, like I said, we are servicing right now as we speak 1,500.
Not too shabby.
No,
not too shabby.
For only being for like 2 months and a half or 3 months and a half.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we have one of the top coaches in North County, I believe.
The top coach.
Godfather of North County.
My bad.
No.
You're right, Coach. You're right. Respect.
But I mean, Coach Carlos, I knew him because you go to Escondido, it's like who's the head coach here? Who's the main coach? Oh, Coach Carlos. Why? Because he coached Escondido High School. Why? Because he was a Palomar head coach. Why? Because he was the director of FC Heat. I would see him all the time working. Well, me and my best friend would go train in Ryan Park in the mornings because I was preparing for whatever was opportunity that was happening. I would see him out there cutting the grass, fixing the fields. Like, he was doing all of it. And me personally, I think that was awesome that he would do that stuff. I mean, I know he was undervalued, but hey, I mean, life happens, things happen, and we move forward. But he basically, we met each other not knowing that we knew each other. And then when I reconnected with him, like, hey, I have this idea, brought him in. We did trainings here in San Marcos for not that much money, and we wanted to help. That didn't work out. I told him what I was doing with homeschooling, and he jumped aboard, and now we're growing that, and it's becoming more successful. And like I said, I was one of the first one in North County or San Diego to do the soccer homeschooling programs. I started this like 4 years ago. Okay. And now it's like there's other programs, which is awesome, which is great because it helps the next generation out as well of soccer players. But my main focus is I don't care if they make it to the next level or not. If you want to make it to the next level, we'll help you because I train also college kids in their off season in the mornings and ex-professionals or professional players. So with that being said, I mean, if they want to make it to the next level, we can guide them that way. We direct them, we take them there, but then we're not in the field with them. We can't hold their hand there. If they make it because of them. If they don't make it, it's because of them as well. 100%. So
I 100% agree with that. I mean, and can relate with that. In our world, if you don't run, if you don't shadow box, if you don't hit your bag work, if you don't hit your mitt work, if you're not doing your sparring, if you're not doing all the things that you have to do for practice, come fight day, 1, you're not gonna make weight. 2, you're gonna have a very hard time. There's consequences. I mean, it's so 100%. I agree with that. And now moving into, what does a structured session of ER look like from start to beginning?
So I mean, it just depends for homeschooling.
Correct, because we have homeschool, right? Yes. We have our homeschool programs. Yes. We have our after and before school programs, and then we have our catered programs for anybody who really just wants to take the time and the dedication to learn soccer, right?
Yes.
So walk us through what is at least in a 30-second format each one of each.
It's just a little bit tough for me because I have different types of trainings I have to do in the morning with Coach Carlos. We do homeschooling.
Okay.
So it's an hour and a half. We do it 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We do Mondays as basically fitness. Obviously, they had games as well. It's recovery, depending on they had 2 games or 1 game. It's fitness. If they didn't have any games, hardcore. Wednesdays is more technical work, and then Fridays is pure shooting. So those are for homeschooling. And then right after homeschooling, we have the community partners that we work with. So we have a different curriculum there. You know, we have a program director that takes care of that curriculum, and we send it out to all our coaches. Right now we have about 30 coaches working with us.
Okay.
It's just community partners. We work with different types of people in the
Special
organizations in the area, and I mean, we're growing it. We're, like I said, right now we already service more than 1,500 in like 3 months.
Wow.
Kids, and from, you can say, elementary, middle school, and high school level.
Okay.
So I mean, I went to my old alma mater, which is Orange Glen High School, and we started a program there.
Shout out Patriots.
Yeah, shout out Patriots. In the mornings from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. I mean, just keeping these kids accountable, keeping these kids fit, and I mean, if they didn't make the high school team, come do the program so you can get better.
100%.
You know, and it's free for them.
Huh.
You know, so I'm like, I would take advantage of that. I
100%.
wish I was in their shoes when I was going to school and had those opportunities, but we didn't have that stuff. But
100%.
So from homeschool to the community partners to now, we also started a new, we can say, sector of the business. We started training kids with autism in the spectrum, so kids with disabilities, and we have special coaches for that.
And talk to us a little bit about that curriculum, that specific curriculum. How is it structured? How do you structure it?
Yeah.
And what are the success measures that you've seen so far?
So with them, we have a certain, structure of training. However, there's different levels on the spectrum. There's 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
When we have sometimes level 3, that curriculum goes out the window.
Okay.
So we do have, again, curriculums specifically for them, but it's also their attention span 0 to 100. So we have to keep them on their toes.
Correct.
Sometimes you have to play tag to get them back in focus.
Nice.
Sometimes you have to,
different activities.
They have to.
That's awesome.
You have to put a ball right in front of them so they could dribble or kick it. Hold their hand so you can run around the cones or jump over hurdles or run through the ladders. So it's just different stuff.
That gets customized
to them.
The individual athletes.
Exactly.
Student. Okay.
So I mean, we have different coaches that we train for the different levels.
That's awesome.
You know, from 1, 2, and 3. The 1 is obviously sometimes they can be diagnosed in the spectrum on level 1. Okay. But they look and act normal, like nothing's wrong. They're just a little quiet. They're a little shy. But once they feel comfortable, they start, playing and talking and being like nothing's wrong. But I mean, again, everything is through proper catering. Yes.
So, for instance, session 1, you'll run what you think you plan for, and then session 2, you adjust for what you need to.
Yeah. Sometimes something that we do is we have to sit down on the ground, and because some of the kids can't do toe taps. So we have to sit on the ground and show them how to do toe taps while sitting down. Normal stuff like that. Sometimes we have to grab their legs and do it for them.
That's awesome.
It's just different things. But the most important thing for us is seeing them smile, seeing them get fitness in. Yeah.
Exercise the body, move the blood flow. Exactly. Stimulate, let that.
Well, the cognitive thinking is important. Yeah. So, 100%. And we're excited because this upcoming year, we're starting in January 26th, and we're gonna have a girl that's, I think it's the right word is imperatively blind.
Okay.
So we're excited to work.
That's awesome.
With her. I heard a lot of great stuff about her. I didn't know, but she did skiing. She does extreme sports and stuff. And so we're so excited to work with her. We talked to one of our partners, and we had a meeting recently, and we have to get they already got a specific ball that has like coins or like that rings like a bell inside.
To help them track. That's awesome.
For the hearing. So we're so excited for that. Yes, it's a new
curriculum.
New little one, but like I told him, if she's not doing the right work, she was also gonna get in trouble. There's
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? So
100%.
And they told me about the girl. She's very excited for it as well, and she's a go-getter. So,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's
we're
awesome.
excited.
Someone who we definitely want to house here at ER Soccer for
Yes,
sure,
of
100%.
course.
And lastly, gentlemen, as we wrap everything up, we're gonna have continued stories. We're gonna have follow-up podcasts to have them individually. We'll have the coaches here, and most importantly, we're actually gonna be in the field side by side with Edwin, Coach Carlos, and the beautiful stories of the kids. Lastly, gentlemen, what would you tell other community members out there? Similar experiences, could be inside and outside of soccer, or if they are in soccer, how can they help ER Soccer continue to develop, support our kids, and most importantly, make our program grow? Sponsors, businesses, what can they do to help you?
I think that first of all, they gotta give us an opportunity to prove, the work that we do. Obviously, sponsorship is very important. I think there's a lot of people that we're finding that in the community that somehow they're hesitant a little bit to donate, and so that's kind of like the number one key, because there's a lot of competition out there. And I encourage people to bring their kids or recommend us, because I think that most importantly, we're doing it for the kids, And I think that the more that we get the community involved, the more successful we're gonna be. And so we're counting on my contacts and my, and the connection. I think this group gives us a nice window to, people can see what we're really doing.
sir.
And
Yes,
people can, any questions they have, I'm sure there's a contact number that they can call us, and I'm really excited to look at this.
And they can come out and join us, right?
Yeah,
right,
they-
Edwin?
they can join
Any
us.
sponsor, any community member, any would come hang out with Gato Negro. I'll bring you in Arizona, and then we'll watch them.
Any of our former players, that are out there being successful with your business, man, and with your businesses, I'd love to have you guys be part of this. Nothing has changed, we're still working for the same purpose, and it's make people's lives, easier. And now we're coaching. I'm coaching my players' sons, in some cases, and their grandkids. Yeah.
Wow. Edwin, same question to you to close it out. What can we do? What can the Black Hat Army do to share your story, bring more support and awareness to the amazing things you're doing, brother?
So, I mean, I have to go back, but one thing is, we don't just create, good human beings, but we're also creating jobs, in the community. I mean, coaches and teachers don't get paid enough, and I think that's one of the most important people that need to get taken care of, because they're with the kids.
100%.
They're the ones that help the next generation. So we're paying our coaches competitively. I can say we're a club, but we're not a club. We don't affiliate ourselves as a club, because we're not. We're club neutral, but we're here to help out the kids and coaches as well that want to make some extra money, that want to have the time as well, and want to coach different type of players, because it's not just club, it's not competitive. But what we also do is we also give an opportunity for these kids that don't have the opportunity to play club or can't afford it, meet the right coaches to give them scholarships.
100%.
So, but yes, donations will be great, because we have, like I said, 680 plus 1,500 kids that we have to get jerseys for, and I mean that's a lot.
It adds up.
Yeah,
it adds up.
It adds up.
So any local business out there, entrepreneur, city official, my friends, hit us up. Let's put some jerseys on. As a matter of fact, I'll put it on camera. Unlockyourproperty.com and El Gato Studios will be a sponsor. Portion of a sponsor, not all the 1,000 jerseys, all right? But El Gato Studios and Unlock Your Property, happily, with the blessing of Mr. Javier Feria himself, we will be contributing towards part of your jerseys for this upcoming year. So all my rich friends, please join me, because they stack up. So gentlemen, most importantly, one last thing that I wanted to share is thank you for what both of you do. I try to partake and do what I can on the fighting side. Being from Escondido, you either know how to play soccer or you know how to fight. There's no in between. So knowing that, which is very, very true, knowing that this is a call to action to everybody out there with a voice, with friends, or just share this video, like it, comment, subscribe. Make sure that you follow this story, because I am honored to work alongside ER Soccer, because I was also a kid that dreamed of getting a scholarship to play club soccer. I never got to play. However, I did have amazing coaches that helped me on the way on the Sunday leagues, aka the Chubby Bunny leagues, and I was able to at least participate with the most important thing, which I wanted to do, was play. Black Cat Army, has been a pleasure. I'll see you soon.